So the reason the City case
why is it different?
Is with Everton, you're talking about an accounting breach, right? Everton's defense is, well, we accounted for these this way, and we think the punishment is too much, but we acknowledge that we breached.
Yeah.
With Manchester City, these charges relate to mostly those charges that got Manchester City banned for 2 years by UEFA.
Yeah.
And then of course, that ban was overturned by CAS, who found that some of those charges were not proven and some of those charges were time barred. Now, these charges are not time barred in the Premier League, which means there is no statute of limitation. So even if you committed a crime in 1932, then you're liable for it, right? So that means that we're in uncharted territory legally. There is no previous jurisprudence for this. I mean, there isn't much for Everton, but there's even less in the City case. Two, what we're talking about effectively with City is Premier League charges relate to City supplying false information. This is a case of fraud. This is what they're accused of, right? If you can prove that, you're proving that you're cheating. You're not saying, oh, let me put this cost in this accounting column, right? And see if the tax people agree with it or if the auditors agree with it. We're talking about, let me lie about this. Let me go and secretly make a payment without reporting it. Ha ha ha. Let me go and get money secretly from Abu Dhabi and pretend that this is what they're accused of. This is what you have to prove, which is a very serious charge.
But if that's proven, it's worse than what Everton did, right?
It is a lot worse, and it's a completely different type of crime.
Yeah. So when people, even if they try to compare, if Everton get done 10 points for what they did, which is, like you said, a different offense, if City do worse, you would expect a worse punishment, even if it's a different style of breach than the Everton one.
Yes, you would expect. I mean, it's hard to rank the two, but it's completely different, though. It just goes in a different. It goes in a different bucket. Goes in a different category. But yes. You would expect that. Yeah. You would also then, it would be, I mean, look, if all 115 charges are proven, it would be something so massive as well that you would be getting into other factors. Maybe even would they take into account what's good for the Premier League? Would it be good for the Premier League to relegate City?
Yeah.
Would it be better for the Premier League if they said, okay, City's owners, you guys pay a £1 billion fine, let's say, which gets distributed among the other clubs. I mean, I'm saying hypothetically, right? Yeah. You get into such an extreme situation that I don't see how you can use Everton's case as any kind of benchmark.
Yeah,
right?
I see what you mean.
And this is a lot more complicated. This is going to get going. It's funny, and I go back to this. Pep Guardiola saying, I want this case resolved quickly. I want to know if they cheated so we can move on, up or down. I'm like, you know what? If this is what you really want, again, in the same way I told Klopp to go and speak to his bosses and his owners, Pep, you go speak to your owners. Tell the lawyers to stop getting injunctions, stop slowing things down, to cooperate, because that's another thing we've been charged with not cooperating. It's a different situation.